Hey everybody, welcome to Badge Banter, where we feature some of our awesome partners and their thoughts and ideas about the importance of the ID badge as the foundation of an organization's overall security. I'm Lindsay Martin-Nez from Badge Pass, and I'm excited to introduce you to today's special guest, Kier Breckon of Richardson Business Solutions. Welcome, Kier. Thanks so much for being here.
Good afternoon, Lindsay. Thank you for having me.
So before we dive into our discussion for today, can you take a minute and tell us a little bit about Richardson Business Solutions?
Absolutely. So Richardson Business Solutions, we're a long-standing business founded in 1929 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We have a long history of innovation through many different incarnations of technology, which is something we're very, very proud of. So in our many years here, we've seen the advent of various types of business equipment, machines, trends, technology, and it's given us an interesting perspective on the world today.
Awesome. Well, one of the reasons I asked Kier to join me was I'm pretty sure Kier and I share a lot of similar sentiments about the importance of the ID badge and its place in organizations and security efforts. But as we talk to people in the industry, there's all kinds of hype about, mobile versus physical badges and lots of discussions about that. Do you think that the photo ID has in any way lost its value over the years, or do you feel like it's here to stay?
I think that's a really interesting question, Lindsay, because we have a unique perspective on the market. And if I was to maybe be outside of the industry that we work in, I think sometimes the perception is ID cards, physical cards have lost value in the marketplace. In actuality, in my opinion, based on what we see in industry trends, I think there's more value in identification cards or cards in general than ever before. I think if you look at processes that are driven by cards, you look at the value, the inherent value, the dependability of cards is really remarkable. And I don't see cards going anywhere in at least my lifetime.
Well, I definitely agree. I think that they will likely work in tandem with some other technologies and mobile type of solutions, but I definitely don't see them going anywhere. Before we started recording, we were kind of chit-chatting, and I know you do a lot of work in the financial space, which is a little bit different than our business, but you shared some interesting stats or something that you had read in an article about cards and mobile wallet versus physical cards. Would you mind sharing that?
Absolutely. So I think we're seeing, whether it's in the financial market or in access control, physical security, we look at card issuance. We look at volume of card issuance. We look at all the different inherent value that those bring. In the financial world, obviously, we're dealing with mobile wallets, digital applications, and a convergence of technology. And we always question, what is the role a financial card or an identification card will play? I was reading a recent report, and it was very interesting. I mean, these were global reports. Last year was the high water mark for the number of financial cards issued globally. So that is unbelievable. So what does it tell us? It tells us that cards, in whether shape or form, are very healthy. They're in abundance. They're being issued. They're being used. Now, that doesn't discredit mobile applications or wallets. It means it's a complementary handshake between those two platforms.
Absolutely. I think the younger demographic, a lot of times they think like, oh, well, everything's just in my wallet. Why would I need a physical card? But even last week, I had a doctor's appointment, and my insurance card is no longer on a physical card anymore. So it's like in your wallet or in an app on the phone. And it is so annoying because then you're like trying to check in, and I'm like, well, here's my phone. Could you just get this off of here? Like, it would be so much easier if I could just have handed them a physical card. And even the receptionist was like, oh my God, I hate that they did this. It's so much easier when people still have physical cards, like for us to copy and everything. I'm like, yeah, they can't go away. Like they're important, and they're easy to use in a lot of applications, and easy to carry and easy for all ages, not just like younger people too. But I think of like my grandmother trying to use a mobile app to check into the doctor's office instead of just a physical card that's in her wallet.
That's a great point. I was recently on a college campus the last week, and still observing processes that are card driven. And in my just overview of witnessing and watching various transactions, a large majority, we're probably talking 75, 80% of entrance into doorways into processes, into vending, all the different things that exist on a college campus in higher ed, 75, 80% were card driven. So when you look at a demographic, you're looking at somebody that's, 18 to 24. You would inherently think that it's going to be mobile or through a phone, and that wasn't necessarily the case. So sometimes perception is not reality, and I think looking at areas where we can drive value to cards, right? That's really what we're looking at. 25 years ago, what was the role of an identification card? Well, it was visual verification, right? Or maybe some sort of first-gen technology, barcode, mag stripe process tied into it. And now identification cards are extremely, extremely complex in what they do and the inherent security that's built into them.
Absolutely. There's huge value you can bring and additional security elements and all kinds of stuff to an ID that we didn't even have before. So it's a great point. Well, it sounds like the jury, according to Kier and Lindsay anyway, is that cards aren't going away. Is that your final verdict on this?
I second that. Yes, cards are not going away. The perception is inaccurate based on what we're seeing, and it's tangible. It's things that you can witness every day. I think what's really interesting is the emergence of technology and how this is really kind of filtering out, and where mobile applications provide maybe simplify a process or bring something different. But we're now seeing that handshake, that integration between the two. That's really exciting, not just for business owners, but for our customers that are expecting, right, new innovation, new technology. And I think our industry as a whole pride ourselves on being industry experts and understanding the subject, understanding how complex this is. And I think we've really built a relationship with our customers, with end users, that we're capable and we're extremely competent when it comes to understanding how this works.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. Well, your customers are lucky to have you, and I'm sure you'll take care of their ID needs for many years to come.
Well, you look at that, and not being a manufacturer, developer, the role that we have with our vendor partners, with our developers, is extremely important, because we do rely on them to bring that innovation into fold. We know what we're capable, where our comforts and strengths are, and that's engagements, that's education, that's consultative approach to educating customers. That's not always the case, and when you go out to the marketplace to procure something, right?
Right.
It works well due to the fact that we're not just providing something, we're educating, we're solving. It's very easy to identify a problem. Where the tact and skill comes in is finding that solution to get them where they need to be within their budget requirements.
Couldn't agree more. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Kier. It was really fun chatting with you.
As always, Lindsay, thank you. We really appreciate you having me today, and thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks. Join us next time as we take you beyond the badge.